Hello there, welcome back to Beauty Bee and welcome to a palette bingo video. I am excited because I don't think I've used this palette before on my channel at all. This is the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders. Now I have used this palette. I've actually used it several times. I really enjoy it. But I think this will be a fun palette to play palette bingo with because there is just so much variety going on. I mean, you have this entire row of super primary colors. You have this row that's more neutral, this row that has some more grungy shades. I think it's going to be fun. So the way I tend to do palette bingo is I randomly select 4 shades. Okay, I've got the random number generator pulled up for 1 through 18. This is going to be 1, 7, 13. Yes. So 17 is first, so that's going to be Penny, which is the copper. 16, the shade next to it, easy enough. 9, the green, the matte green called Evergreen. And then 15. Okay, that's gonna be quite the look. So let's swatch those shades out. I have Penny, Summer, Element, and Evergreen. Huh. What the heck am I supposed to do with this? I don't know that I've ever gotten a palette bingo that's quite messed with me this way. I mean, they're all pretty shades. They all look like they're going to perform really well. Let's just go for it. Why not? So I am starting where I usually do with my palette bingo. That is, I have some eyeshadow primer on. I've set down my eyeshadow primer. Today I'm wearing some liquid lip balm because my lips are disgustingly dry, and I will probably switch that by the end of this video. Though, honestly, I don't know what I think I'm going to do as far as lip color with these. It might make more sense just to stick with this kind of mauve-y shade and call it good. Okay, let's just go for it. Let's put down a crease. I think that in my crease, I'm going to put Summer, sort of as a crease transition shade combined. I mean, at least that's not a loud shade. It'll be fine in whatever role I give it, I think. So can you guys see that well enough? I think you probably can, but let's just adjust a little bit more. I think that should be better. Okay. Now for the hard part. How on earth am I supposed to incorporate Penny, Element, and Evergreen into the same look? I think that my approach is going to be to use Evergreen as a base over most of my lid. Which, hey, I at least have a brush that is green. I think I probably used it with my Tinkerbell palette, but it'll work for this. I think that I can then put Evergreen on top of that, and that will pull, or I think I can put Element on top of this, and it'll pull Element a little bit more green. This morning when I was getting dressed, I was like, I should wear a black shirt underneath this, and then it would go with absolutely anything that I pulled in today's video. And then I got overconfident in myself. And I was like, I can make it work no matter what. Just wear blue, it'll be fine. And I might end up with that black shirt, because this is gonna be a lot. It is impressive how nice and fully pigmented this Evergreen shade is laying down. I don't think I'd used this shade. I really haven't used many of the shades in this row. I've used pretty much everything in this top row and a good chunk of the bottom, but these primary shades are just not really my cup of tea. They're not what I would think to reach for on a day-to-day basis. So I'm glad that this pulled me out of my comfort zone at least a little bit. Got me to try some new shades. Okay, so there we are with Evergreen. Now let's go to Element and let's see. I think we're going to use this brush for Element, and let's just swipe it on and see what happens. So I'm going to start with this in the middle of my lid and work my way in. That's kind of a murky looking shade. It's interesting. I don't think it looks bad. I just thought I was going to get more of a jewel green out of this, and this is a lot deeper. It's more of a stormy water shade than the like brilliant emerald that I thought I was maybe going to achieve by layering these two. Oh well. You know, I'm kind of into it. I think I'm going to want to add something to add a little bit of brightness right in my inner corner and maybe to about the third point of my lid, but so far, not bad. Now to bring in Penny, I think I'm going to use that on my lower lash line just because I don't see how else this fits into the look. Make the stupidest face every time I do that, but you know, that actually looks not bad. That is an impactful shade. That's cool. I like that. Okay, so now to figure out how to make this like look decent. I don't think it looks awful, but I don't think it looks good either. So first I'm going to go back into summer and I'm going to freshen up that area because it got a little bit murky when I started putting Element into Evergreen in there. That'll also help me to blend out the edges of Element a little bit. Okay. Now for that inner corner, I think what makes sense to me is to use a little bit of moss, which is this interesting, just weird duochrome. It's sort of a bronze from some angles, it's a green from some angles, it has a little bit of red-orange to it. And I think that will be perfect to marry the two parts of this look because I do have a lot of green going on and I do have a lot of orange going on. So let's just go in with my pinky finger. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to put that in my inner corner. Okay, wait. Did that actually kind of work out for me? I feel like it doesn't look as good in the monitor as it does in person. But let's see if a different angle can change that. That is adding a lot of dimension to my top lid, which I think was kind of looking a little bit just dark and flat previously. I actually like this. Oh my goodness, I didn't think that was going to happen. I think that looks really nice, actually. I do need to do some additional blending on my transition area, so I'm just making sure this brush is more or less clean. And let's add a little bit of white to that area. So I'm going to go in to a little bit of Pave and a little bit of Peachy, just to give myself some definition back to my brow. A little bit of a difference between my brow and my transition area. But I think I pulled it off. You guys, what do you think? I'm going to go put the rest of my face on, but I think we're looking good. One sec, let me do that. Okay, so I finished up the rest of my face. Because I do have so much going on my eyes, I kept everything else really basic. I didn't switch out my lip color. I'm still just wearing I think it's the Rowan Liquid Lip Balm in Charlie. It's the one Lauren May Beauty's always talking about. It's a really nice basic neutral, and I will put on some bronzer as blush, Tarte Park Avenue Princess, just right on the apples of my cheeks. The only other thing I added was mascara because there's so much going on in my eyes. I didn't need to overwhelm everything else. I am so happy with how this turned out. I love the way that this fades from this orangey gold in the inner portion of my lid, and then it moves to a true gold, more of a bluish shade to the green. I think it's lovely. I am really happy with that moss shade. I had worn that on my lid before as a one shadow look, but I hadn't played around with mixing it with some of these other shades. I think it really did a good job of pulling this whole look together. I don't think it would have worked out if I hadn't included moss, but let me know what you think. I'm really happy with this look. It makes me even more excited to continue to play with this palette. I have used quite a few of these shades in ways that I've really enjoyed. I've done some looks using these two purple shades. This pink column I've used a few times. I've brought in this shimmery peach shade. Of course, moss I've used. And I think I've actually used the yellow as well. I think I used the yellow in my crease one day. But, you know, I just chose 4 shades at random and was able to get a look that I really enjoyed just by adding in really just a 5th shade. So I think there's a lot of opportunities here. I think there's a lot of looks that I could make, and I'm really excited to continue to play with it. So another successful palette bingo. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.